So it was with heavy hearts today that we announced the death of the original Darth Vader, David Prowse. Now, I was fortunate enough to meet David at a celebrity event in Framingham, Massachusetts in the early 2010s. We're going to get into that in a few seconds, but I want to touch upon his multifaceted career before getting into the controversy between him and George Lucas over alleged things Prowse did to either inadvertently give away plot points or to fight against the fact that he wasn't the final voice of Darth Vader, but the great James Earl Jones. Now, David Prowse had been in poor health for quite some time with arthritis and other end-of-life ailments. Now, for the majority of his career, he was an English-based bodybuilder, weightlifter, and of course a character actor in numerous key British film and television shows, including Clockwork Orange, Casino Royale, Space 1999, The Saint. Now, he physically portrayed Darth Vader in the original Star Wars trilogy, which is parts 4, 5, and 6, with the voice, of course, performed by James Earl Jones. Now, a lot of that is detailed in a documentary his life called I Am Your Father, which came out 5 years ago. Now, prior to his role as Vader, he had established himself as a prominent figure in British culture as the first Green Cross Code Man, a character used in Britain to promote road safety aimed at children. Now, he was brought up in the Southmead housing estate in Bristol, gaining a scholarship to Bristol Grammar School. Now, at one point, he had reached the height of 6'6" and developed an interest in bodybuilding. His early jobs including a bouncer at a dance hall, where he met his future wife, and a helper at Hounslow swimming pool. Now, following successes from 1961 in the British heavyweight weightlifting championship, he left Bristol in 1963 to work for a London weightlifting company. Now, because of his prowess as a heavyweight weightlifting athlete, he represent Britain at their championships over 2 years, including the 1962 British Empire and Commonwealth Games in Perth, Western Australia. Now, because of this, he would later become very important in the what he called the body presentation, or the body double, or body training for various British productions. He portrayed Julian, the heavy built bodyguard in Clockwork Orange, who played a key plot point in the second half of that movie. Now, and it pretty well all started when he became the Green Cross Code Man, where he became more well known to a lot of people. Now, the campaign ran between 71 and 1990, with Prowse being the visual presence of it from 75 on. Now, his role as Frank Alexander's bodyguard Julian in the film A Clockwork Orange came to notice of George Lucas. He also played a circus strongman in Vampire Circus, a Minotaur in the Doctor Who serial The Time Monster, and an android named Coppin in the Tomorrow People, very underrated series. Now, he also appeared on the episode of Space 1999, The Beta Cloud, right before he was cast as Darth Vader. Around that time, he appeared as the Black Knight in the Terry Gilliam film Jabberwocky, and he was also supposed to play Minotaur in Sinbad in The Eye of the Tiger, but the part went to Peter Mayhew instead, who later played Chewbacca in Star Wars. Now, he also starred in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as well, and he appeared in the first season of Ace of Wands. Now, he also did Shakespearean roles and in plays such as You Like It. Now, he also played the Frankenstein monster in 3 films: Casino Royale, in the Hammer horror films The Horror Frankenstein, and Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. Now, he also appeared on the Benny Hill Show, as a lot of people know, as the fact where he appeared as a muscle man in some of Benny's musical skits. Now, like I said, he also appeared on The Saint in 1969, the original series, in Portrait of Brenda. Now, the problem with Star Wars, because he played the physical form of Darth Vader, He spoke the dialogue during filming, but George Lucas claimed he wanted a darker voice and looped his voice with James Earl Jones, but initially he never told David what he was going to do. Now, he deemed Prowse's West County accent unsuitable for the character. Now, Prowse, in published reports, claimed he's originally told that he would be seen and heard at the end of Jedi when Vader's mask was removed. Other reports say he had no idea it was going to be dubbed. Now, instead, actor Sebastian Shaw was used, which I think was a major error by George Lucas. Now, in later years, it came to note that allegedly Prowse did various interviews with the British press, mostly, that he successfully guessed plot points of the series, including the parentage between Luke and Darth Vader. Now, I don't have any final confirmation in which publication this occurred, but it came to a point that Lucas was so pissed off at Prowse, even years later he was officially banned from Lucas's official Star Wars events on occasion. Lucas didn't really trust him, and there was some question if he was following his line readings correctly, even though it was going to be dubbed, especially in Return of the Jedi. Now, like I said, Prowse had toured a lot towards his later years. When I met him at Framingham, he was very jovial with me, very friendly, but it was quite interesting with Prowse. Him and I had about a 2-minute conversation, but at one point I thought he was kind of begging me off, but he wasn't. He looked to the corner of his eye and he saw, as I did, a 7-foot-tall plus fully made-up version of the end of the Darth Vader of Return to Jedi, with, of course, the neck makeup and all that. And he turned to me and he said, "Excuse me, Mr. Carrier, I have to talk to this very large fan." But I found David Prowse with everybody that day where I was in Framingham, nothing but genial, nothing but happy to be there. And, a big family guy, wife and 3 children. He also was supportive of numerous sporting and political endeavors in his home country of the UK. But like I said, the physical ailments he suffered at the end of his life really hampered his effort. He was a massive sufferer of arthritis, and he led to a replacement of both his hips and his ankle being fused. And he suffered from paralyzation in both arms, and allegedly it reduced his height from 6'6" to something a couple inches shorter. Now, he was very active in numerous arthritis organizations in Britain, and was also vice president of the Physically Handicapped and Able-Bodied Association of Britain. Now, the passing on November 28th was met by numerous comments from the cast, including Mark Hamill and others. I found David Prowse to be part of my history, being part of the British Commonwealth. He was a historical figure for moviegoers because of the number of productions. And of course, as a lot of people do know or don't know, he was hoping to get Superman, but then found out he would be training Christopher Reeve. He did have a chance to get the part, but I think the producers wanted somebody a little bit more what he call dramatically trained. Reeve was a Juilliard grad. But something, lobbying for a part for Superman was just part of his oeuvre. He wasn't scared to put his name in or try or expand his talent as an athlete and what he called a figure actor or a body actor. But to see what he did as a bodybuilder, my old pal, the championship bodybuilder Vic Downs, also from the UK, told me he was one of the most pure athletes he ever saw. And the fact is, a very, very handsome gentleman. And if you look at Clockwork Orange, ladies and gentlemen, he looks like Christopher Reeve. So I don't know if the look of Christopher Reeve started with his appearance in A Clockwork Orange or vice versa. But for me, he was much more than Darth Vader. A fine representative of that style of athlete in the UK, a social activist, a person that kids were looking up to for obvious reasons, and he will be missed. I was very honored to meet him, and I'm very honored to say I don't like what George Lucas did to him. I don't think it was intentional, but how more anal can someone be to George Lucas? He was trying to protect him. But you got to understand, it's hard to control the dialogue about something if you're in the States and David Prowse is in the UK. You're allowed to talk to the press, and Lucas thought maybe by hiring him he could control him. Well, all I can say is David Prowse, in all factors, was his own man and was a man in all shape or form, and he will be missed. And for the new Star Wars fans, look at the documentary I Am Your Father. Look at the Elstree documentary came out a few years ago. When he spoke on Star Wars, he spoke on it on great affection, like he was really happy to be part of it, even if it's not what he expected. But I don't think George Lucas is going to the funeral, is what I'm saying, unless I'm wrong here. But who knows? I'm not a big fan of George Lucas, by the way, you can tell. I'm a fan of David Prowse. It's the Commonwealth person in me. Have a good day. Bye.